fire things up officially here. All right, guys. Well, so for our first meeting in June, and well, we're trying to see some form of the summer starting up, but it's been slow to get going around here. But not that we're really complaining, but maybe we'll finally get ourselves out of this rainy weather at some point. But at any rate, so I'd like to kick the meeting off as usual. Does anyone have any announcements they'd like to share? Any, whether it's electronic shows or any other events that we'd like to know about that might be worth noting to everybody?
It's not an event, but I have something that might be of interest here to show.
Sure.
It just came in the mail yesterday. This is still being published. World Radio TV Handbook 2023.
Interesting.
Has a new publisher now, and they've almost ended last year, but a new publisher took it over.
Oh, that's good to know.
It's got quite a bit of shortwave listings in it too.
And now, is this a quarterly or annual or?
Annual.
Got it. Oh, it's good to know. Well, for anyone who was wishing that they were back in print, it looks like it is. Hey, thanks for that heads up there, Gary. Any other announcements?
Got one, John.
Sure, go ahead, Alan.
I'm not sure if you guys have ever purchased or heard of Lindsay Publications. This fella for 30 years or so reprinted ancient, by our standards, ancient copies of technical manuals of the past. He died, and somebody called YouTube or You Old Bookstore picked up whatever he had left for inventory, and he's going out of business. So if you guys want to look at any of these or purchase any of these old publications, they're on fire sale right now. And I don't get a commission from these folks, but over the years I bought a ton of books from Lindsay, and it's just fun reading and great for experimenting if you want to recreate some of this old stuff from the 1800s and early 20th century too.
Interesting. Good to know. Thank you, Alan. There's one announcement I can offer. I believe next weekend, I think it's next Saturday, the Vintage Radio and Communications Museum in Windsor, Connecticut. I think they're having a radio show, Swap Meet. I believe it's this coming Saturday. Not this Saturday, the following one. I'll double check that.
The 17th.
Thank you, Gary. I thought it was. So it's a week from this Saturday, so week and a half away. So if anyone's looking, if they didn't get enough from Spring Brookline, here's another chance. So, in fact, I think some of the Connecticut locals will be there too. I think Bob will be there. Gary, you will be there?
I hope to be there. I have a potential conflict that day, but I hope to be away. I hope to break away from that in the morning and go to the swap meet.
I'd like to try and go. I'm not sure. It's on the possible radar, but it depends on the weather and what I have for that weekend going on. But I haven't been there in a while. And it is a great museum. I haven't been there in, a good 3 or 4 or 5 years. And I know they've done some expansions and changes in the museum. So just going there to check it out again and see what they've done to the place might be worth the trip alone, and getting the bonus of a swap meet might be. So I'll see if I can go, but hard to say. I'll know more in about a week. But so any other announcements or anything? Or
yeah, I have one.
Sure.
So the New England Wireless and Steam Museum is having a tune-up flea market on July 22nd from 9 to 3.
There you go, July 22nd.
It's right. It's in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. The
East
museum.
Greenwich.
I don't know if any of you have ever been there, but And
not.
you can request info at info@newsm.org.
Great. Thank you, Len. That's good to know. And one of the things I will be doing that we're working on in the background, by the way, is we'd like to try and get some form of a calendar on our club website. So I'd like to be able to do is have the sort of maintain a calendar for us. So things like that, Len, when you do announce, I just scribble it in. That way we start just logging all these events so people can look at their calendar and see what's exciting if they haven't made a chance to attend one of our Zoom meetings or didn't listen to the recording. So we'll get there. That's one of the goals we'd like to do. Be a nice incremental improvement for everybody. But anything else?
Hey, John, I just quickly wanted to show you something. You
Sure.
had with the Bay Area Radio newsletter. I have never really been into 1920s sets, but this ad was in that publication, and it just really knocked me out that I had to send it to the local photo place who edited it and printed it for me and enlarged it a little bit and put it on poster board, which I thought was the coolest ad. I don't know whether you can see it or not, but it's the beach scene.
Oh, how nice. Yeah, that is.
And that was in the newsletter probably about 6 or 8 months ago.
That's a great ad.
May get put in the penitentiary for pulling it off and copying it, but
Did it?
was worth it.
That's all
We
right.
won't tell anybody, Dave.
I should have not recorded this. David, it was great knowing you.
Hey, if anybody likes that type of thing and you have the opportunity to visit, he invited us all after the meet, up in
Oh.
Brooklyn. I don't know why I'm
Merrill?
forgetting-
Merrill?
Merrill Bancroft has a garage full of advertising. It's absolutely phenomenal. So if you like to see those ads, he has some very large advertisements, and I just wanted to throw that in that it's highly recommended.
Yeah, I regrettably missed the going to his place after Spring Brookline, but I did email him and ask, hey, if you ever, since he did offer, if you ever do it again, I'm interested, because I could just probably fill the memory of my camera with photos, and we'll have probably multiple Zoom meetings to get through. That'll probably take a year's worth of Zoom meetings to get through it. From what I've heard, he's got quite the collection. But yeah, that's on my short list of hopefully making. I hope he does it over the summer. But oh, Bob, we were just
Sorry I'm late. I was just on a long phone call with a gentleman that had a million questions for me about a piece of equipment he's working on, so.
Not a problem. We were just sort of ramping up slowly, so your timing is good, actually.
Oh, okay.
But
Everybody breathing okay, I hope?
yeah.
I'll tell you, it's brutal down here.
That's I've seen the photos in New York and so forth. Yeah, can't see in front of your face practically.
I had to run some errands this morning. I had a chiropractor appointment and helping put his kid through college right now with my back. And I was going down a road and come back to the house after going to the store for my wife, and I'm looking, and there's just a small mountain that's kind of in the foreground of the road I was driving on. Normally you could see it clear as day, and there's usually there's a small rectory or something up there, so you can see a model of Jesus up on it's a big statue, and they light it up. I could not see that or the mountain. There's so much smoke. It's unbelievable.
Yikes.
So I just had the air conditioner on the car. I got home and I just got the groceries, brought them in the house, and
That's it.
I'm done. I'm not going out. I was going to go outside, work on my car today. Nope.
Yeah, I
Not
know.
going to happen.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's going to take some weeks before this thing.
So I hope you guys are okay where you're at, because I saw a model on TV the other day, and Connecticut looked like they were getting hammered yesterday. I mean, that was just really really brutal. I mean, I've never seen anything this bad ever.
No, it's sort of like Mount St. Helens ×2 or something. Yeah.
In a way, it kind of brought me back to my childhood, because when I was a kid, the farm that we were on, my father we had a big open field. My father would get all the broken sticks and leaves and everything, and a couple times a year we'd just have a big bonfire, and we'd have like 2 or 3 hoses out there to make sure that nothing caught on fire or everything. And nowadays you couldn't do that. They'd lock you up and throw away your key, but that's what you did in the 60s. So that's what it smelled like. It just smelled like a lot of burning leaves and twigs and whatever else was there. Those poor people in Canada, I just hope they're all right.
Oh yeah, I know.
It's
It'd be
terrible.
awful for them. Yeah.
But we also have a few wildfires in South Jersey area that's going on right now. And ironically, it's one of the New Jersey members. He also happens to be a fireman, but there's a bad fire not too far away from his house and even his fire station. So I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know anybody that's capable of doing a rain dance that's effective. Give him a call. Let him or her know. We need it.
We do too.
First D lesson.
I was listening on the radio today, where they mentioned the website airnow.gov, AIRNOW.gov. You put in a zip code and it will tell you what the current air quality is, and also if it's not so good, the primary source for the issue. Like in New Jersey, there's, I guess, some wildfires going on down there in South Jersey that's causing them to go bad. And I guess in New York, they said it was the worst. New York City had the worst air of anywhere in the world today.
Yeah.
And even New Delhi was better than New York.
Wow.
So,
Yeah,
bad stuff.
Worcester had a warning yesterday and today. And you could actually smell it when you went outside. So I didn't stay out very long today.
They recommend, if you still have any of those, COVID-19 masks, the N95s or whatever they are, that
Yeah.
if you have to go out, use that will help considerably.
Wow.
Yes, good point. Good point.
Wow. Yeah. All you guys stay safe. While we get through this. I have actually another announcement I can offer, actually on behalf of Hugh Bartarian. You guys may recall, I can quickly share my screen. You remember the last Zoom meeting, we were going through the Kutztown photos. There was that nice Stuart Warner bar radio. I can sort of show it for anyone who may not recall. Share that.
Oh, could you bring out my sandwich maybe?
What?
No.
Hold on a second. There we go. That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm fine.
Sorry, guys. I'm just there we go. That's what I was looking for. I had to bring up the photo. You guys may recall is we'll be going through other photos in here, but the reason I brought this up is that he spotted one at the New Hampshire Antique Co-op in Milford, New Hampshire. He said that it's complete except it's missing the stirs. I guess that's for judge from my understanding of the last Zoom meeting. That seems to be a common problem. They have everything, you can find them with all the glass tumblers, but you can't find the stirs. They think they're asking something like $495, maybe
Oh,
they
wow.
can take $465. I don't know anything about the condition or anything, but he said for anyone who's got to have one, really wants one, that looked like a pretty nice piece. If you want to go there and see if you can get a better price. But so now you know. But it is a pretty cool radio combo, but it's a little steep. Weird.
Well, if I have to mix my martini with my finger, I would say $200.
Right. But so before I started showing any photos, does anyone have any recent acquisitions or projects or things I'd like to show that they're going to sell? Any of those things?
I got one, John.
Sure, go ahead.
You got screen sharing disabled.
Oh,
so
I'm sorry. Let me go
That's okay.
fix it.
Um,
You're good to
I
go.
have, I have really spent my budget for this year. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Ooh,
Oh,
This
Yes.
is not only the Sonora Excellence, that's the Cadillac one there, but the baby one is the Sonora Sonorette.
Hmm.
One collector in our club has been paring down his collection, and I had to have these. I made him an offer and he accepted it. They're perfect 10s, so something new for me because I usually don't collect French radios, but I had to have these two. So
Ooh.
anyway, that's my recent acquisition.
Hey,
And
could you, are you able to zoom in a little bit there, Howard?
sure, which one do you
Both,
want?
both, I'd love to see both of them. Wow, they are
So
stunning.
that's got the mirrored grill. That's the
Ah.
Excellence. It's got that neat little metal accent there
Yeah.
with that grill,
Ah.
that interesting grill design. And this is really an interestingly made radio, and it's got the back and everything. And the Bakelite cabinets are in great shape.
It's a
So
neat radio.
you can see on this one here, you can see the band switch down there on the
Oh.
bottom.
Okay.
So that's the 3 bands. So it's got like a long wave, a short wave, and then the standard broadcast. But I'll let
Those-
you guys know how I make out with these.
Yeah,
Howard,
for sure.
Howard, what is the year? What is the year on those?
I want to say mid 50s. I'm not fully sure. I would have to look at that. There is a reproduction of the one on the right there. And I even think there's a Bluetooth version of the little one on the left. I think there are reproductions of both of them.
Really?
Of course, nowhere near. I mean, they're a similar shape, I should say. They're not, they're not really reproductions. They're just a similar shape that's AM/FM with Bluetooth.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's my recent acquisition. Yeah, I spent my budget a long time ago.
But but you know what? That's pretty cool because I've never seen one of those before. I'm sure they show up very rarely.
Howard,
Yeah.
you got something really nice to show for that, though. Those are stunning radios.
I know.
Yeah.
Imagine you
Beautiful.
polish out the cabinet and get that all brightened up, and it's got a magic eye. That's a winner too. Yeah. Do you have does it need replacement, or do you?
I have yet to go inside of them. I have other kind of projects right now. So right now they're just on display. They're not really being used.
Wow, that's terrific! Congratulations. Those I've never seen either, and they're pretty darn cool.
So.
Oh, hey, what you got there, Adrian? Oh, you're on mute there.
Yeah, I have to leave. So I just
Oh.
was waving
Oh.
goodbye.
Oh, sorry to see you go. Well, we'll see you again, I hope.
Yeah,
Have a good evening.
sure will. Yep.
Well, have a good evening. Anyone else have anything cool to show, or even uncool? Doesn't matter. We're not that picky. Otherwise, I'll pick it up with the photos. Let me, before I do that, let me just get to the right photo because I went back in time to show the Stuart Warner. Just went pick up where we left off there, and almost there. There we go. All right, guys, let me pick up where I left off there. All right, imagine you guys can see this okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do we have here? I can speak to one of these radios. So the one on the right here is a Nordmenda. I think it's a Condor. I can't swear to it, but I think it is. And it looks like a US version. Yep, it is. It's got the full US FM spectrum. It's a Nordmenda Sterling. Yeah, these nice radios. What makes it a bit unusual is they have this unique grill cloth. that kind of separated him from all the other Nord Meta models of that era. This is probably, roughly speaking, 57, 56, 57. Not the top line radio, but it was, 3 speakers, I think. But I think there are 2 on the sides. And the main one here. Nice radio, and not that commonly seen, the Condor. So hopefully I got that right. It is. Let me see if it. Yeah. Yep. Thought so. Yep. It is a Condor. This one here, I don't know. Oh, Philco, I was going to say, and sure enough, classic knobs. Decent condition, I suppose. Oh, this is neat. When this is a promo or someone's, let's get away for this.
It must have been a gangster's prison radio, no?
Yeah, maybe. That's neat. Maybe someone's homebrew, that they built the looks like casing.
I think it's cool that they built that into a see-through. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, I actually enjoy seeing those things, whether it was promotional, like, which has a lot of value. If someone did it themselves just to enjoy the beautiful circuitry.
That's what you could tell your grandkids. That was John Dillinger's prison radio.
Yeah, there you go.
So you can't bring in a contraband here. So I had to put the 3-dialer in a Lexan case.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's cool. Really cool.
That's neat, though.
I know what it is. Like, I don't see any obvious.
It looks mildly familiar, but it's not ringing a bell.
Yeah.
And it could have been a kit, but that's glass, by the way. It's actual glass. So there is a radio, a different one from the 20s that was actually made in glass. But I think, John, you're kind of right. It was maybe a promotional thing, since radio was still very much in its infancy in the American household. It was probably a demo type thing that was in a jewelry store or something.
Sure. Yeah, it's really cool. Oh, we got a whole variety of things here. You got TV. Got an old.
Looks like your radio is 17 or 18 there.
Yeah, TRF system. Some sort of looks like an amplifier or something.
Is the price visible on that small screen television?
What's that?
Is there a price tag that's?
There is. Boy, that's a tough one to see. I think I'm at full. The angle's a little bit tough. Yeah, sorry, Brad.
It's okay.
We're got a variety of things over here. This looks like sort of the Sanford and Son table here. Some test equipment here. Oh, look at all this. Look at that tester. Jeez. Who makes that? $50. That's a really big honking tube tester.
I take a guess that might be either a knight or a triplet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't see a label. Oh, wait. There's something there. I can't read it enough to tell you for sure. Actually, behind here is a Blaupunkt Vienna midline radio from probably around 1960 thereabouts. And this looks like it actually might be early 60s because got the FM stereo. I wonder if it's got a I wonder if it has a multiplexer. Looking for the stereo button, I can't see it. It's behind you, but that's interesting radio. Lots of test equipment. A scanner, I think. That's a Bearcat.
That's an old Bearcat scanner. Yeah.
My dad had a Bearcat scanner. It was cool because it had the LED, it had maybe, I don't know, 10 or 12 LED lights, and it was actually going across, it would flash across each individual LED, light and come back and cycle back. It was the
Each
coolest.
light had a little switch underneath of it, right? So you can either have it on or off.
Yeah. And we usually had them all
My
actually just
dad had something like that. I forget what brand he had.
because we used to, well, back in the day where you could actually hear what's scrambled, police are fired. My father would, people one of those who like to listen in and see what was going on. So
Yeah, there was no trunking or anything like that back then, so it was all pure.
yeah, and you could just buy the crystals. So they were just flexible. You buy the right crystal for the right frequency, just plug them in. And it really had 10 open channels. It may give you one for free, right? When you bought it, and then you had to buy the rest.
And then they grab you by the ankles for the other 9.
Exactly. You get the lost leader of, it's a reasonable price, but
How much
it's
did
like,
they pay for that?
that little crystal cost me $100. It's not far from
That's
the
a
truth.
decent. I'm looking at this picture. I see a little RCA Victor radio there.
Yeah.
That's a little 6-tuber. It's missing the knobs. I've actually had one of them. That's a good little radio right there.
How is that? Is that the original grill cloth? Or you think that's is that the way they were made, or
That's
is
plastic.
plastic?
The red say. I think with that they were just molded in color. They used plasticon, but that red mesh looking thing is plastic.
Oh, okay. That's unusual. I've never seen one of those.
They made them in various colors. The really nice ones, the black with red trim. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
that would look nice. That would look much nicer than white in that regard.
That's not the model that RCA made with the cigarette lighter in it, though. They actually made a radio that had built-in, so you could get an optional cigarette lighter in it.
Really?
Yes,
I've never heard of that. That's pretty cool.
they're rare as hen's teeth, but they made them.
Sometimes if you put a cigarette on the 50L6, it'll light eventually. Sorry.
You don't have to worry about it.
Maybe that's what they did. That's funny.
That'd make a funny YouTube video, but I don't smoke it anymore. So
Maybe this Bearcat, this looks newer. This is probably like 90s or late 80s and 90s. The one my dad got was from the early mid 70s.
yeah, that one's got like a keypad on it, so I would imagine that's probably one you could program the frequencies into.
These were classic. These kind of keypads classically used around I'd say the 80s is when you saw that, because I guess it was an idea someone thought was cool, those little plastic flat buttons. But it was really a technology that kind of was short-lived. It lasted, maybe 4 or 5 years, and went on to just regular buttons. I think people started failing. You push, and they wouldn't do anything. Plus, I think people, even myself, like the feel of motion on a button. You feel that real positive feedback instead of something that feels can't tell whether you've actually hit it. Well, here's an array. Got here. Is that
Silvertone?
Yes, I thought that's what was going to be my guess. No, a Grinnell.
It's a Grinnell.
Yeah.
I thought that fooled me. This one down here, hard to say.
Boy, I'm not sure what that is. Greg, you have any idea on that one?
No, it's not looking familiar. I recognize the Grinnell, though. I had one like that.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Nice looking dial face on those.
Yeah, they.
But of course,
Unique.
it's very easily recognizable.
Yes.
And this one here is a Grundig Majestic. I want to say that's even original, not one of those knockoff radios. Nice little radios. Got the model number on that. got here? Some antennas and so forth. Sorry for the, if everything is doing this online, it actually has to go to the internet. It's not local on my hard drive. Interesting pieces circulating about. Back of a radio inside. Oh, we recognize him. That's oh, why am I forgetting? I'm embarrassed to say I'm forgetting his name. Plus, he's got $25 in his hand.
Michael Katz, right?
Thank you.
That's him, yep. Yep.
He's got this unusual. Is this like a Eastern
I
Europe?
think that's Russian.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Eastern Europe or Russian. A VEF 2002. Interesting. You don't see Eastern European or Russian gear too often. There was I think it was it Spring Brookline or it might have been also at Fall Brookline. Someone had a transceiver made in the Ukraine.
That one right there is made in Latvia.
Oh, is it?
VEF, yeah, VEF is I forget what it stands for or what it translates to, but that's a Latvian company.
Oh, hey, thanks, Howard. Thanks for filling in that gap. Neat. I think the first one I'll probably may see in my lifetime. This is neat. What the heck is that? Have a closer look at that. Anyone know what this is? It does. Maybe it does nothing, but it looks like it does something.
Maybe that's what these two gentlemen are trying to figure out.
I think so. Is it Zenith?
That's an early one there. That's I'm trying to remember the model number 808, I think. But that's got that nice metal inset.
Yeah, that's attractive.
I think that's 34 or 35 was when that one was made.
Mhm.
There's even an old iron. That is what will greet you when you bring lots of vintage electronics when you get home.
Well, you may need that to flatten a wrinkled grill cloth.
There you go.
There you go. It's actually, is that an ad? That's an ad for this. That's pretty, or a photograph. I don't know if it was an ad or a photograph. That's pretty cool.
What's interesting is that if you look at the knob, it says fast on it. Unless I'm reading, you see that?
Yeah, it looks like fast to me.
I don't know, that might be, it's hard to say.
You better move the iron very fast over the material if it's on that
Right,
setting,
well,
or
it's
else
probably
you'll scorch it.
400 degrees,
Well, no one would want an iron that's half fast.
Right.
It's got to be fast.
Right. Interesting. Elves? I'm not sure what that is. Huh. Interesting because that's old fan. It's cool. Looks like some interesting stuff coming up here. Oh yeah, that nice
Mhm.
Zenith.
There's a nice.
Racetrack.
That's attractive. Really neat. This is nice. I'm not sure what this is. Is this a Philco?
That's
I
a
think
silver
that's a
tone.
silver tone.
Oh, thank you. That was funny. Oh, you're right. There it is. I thought it was a Philco. It kind of looked like.
Oh, is that okay?
I think that's. I think that does say silver tone. Good eyes. Good catch, guys.
That's a Crosley next to that one.
Interesting dial face. Look at that. Really, maybe just the angle of the shot, but it's unusual.
Yeah. I think it's a model 516.
Not sure what that is there though.
Yeah,
To
it's
the
good.
right, to the right of the Crosley is an airline.
Oh, it's airline. Okay.
Is that what that is? Okay.
think that's the one they call the Indian head,
Oh, okay.
the grill design. Another Philco next to it. Oh,
Yeah, it's losing the
Mhm.
to its on top of these shelves. Ah, I got a couple of refrigerators.
A couple of fridgies.
Nicely done. To be a nice.
Patas.
We got those two-tones or
I think they're Fata.
okay. Oh yeah, I think I see it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. These little radios.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Punters make some rather attractive radios. I've got my Model 790, which I really like. Oh, I didn't look over here. What that is?
Airline behind there.
Sorry.
It's an airline that was behind that one there.
Oh,
Up
this one
against
here?
the- Yeah,
A
I
good
just can
catch.
make out the, yeah.
Good catch, but it's hard to see much from that. Ah, a vintage rabbit.
Yeah,
That was kind of a story in and of itself. That was a therapy bunny.
Oh, okay.
okay.
And there was a lady who would bring that thing around. She'd bring it to the hospitals and for kids and stuff like that. And that's what that was I don't think the woman was married or anything like that, but she loved that bunny.
Ah, I never knew they make.
Are you sure it doesn't have a mean streak? You Monty Python fans out there?
Yes,
Oh, yes.
I remember that sketch.
It's got huge gnashing teeth.
That's right. I haven't seen that skit in a long time.
That was from what
Huge
was that? That
tracts of
was
land.
The Holy Grail.
It was not the Holy
that
Grail.
was the Holy Grail. That's
Grail.
right.
Yep.
That's what I thought. Because I remember I haven't seen that movie in few decades probably.
Oh, you've got to watch it at least once a year.
Yeah, you're probably right. There used to be movies that I always made sure I watched once a year. The one I used to watch with a buddy of mine, we had just started the working world. We used to watch Repo Man once a year.
Oh, that's a great one.
That's a good one, isn't it?
That's a good movie.
That is. And I showed it to my wife, and it didn't have the enthusiasm that she didn't have the enthusiasm I did for it. She said, it's just,
No, I don't think it doesn't fall into the category of chick flick.
Yeah,
no, it's the anti chick flick. Really, really,
That's definitely a dude movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so bizarre, but it's so much fun. Every time we see a turquoise, that famous 60s turquoise 65 Chevelle, I always think of Repo Man. Here we go. There's a couple of nice ones. Get a little close up here. Nice airline.
Yeah.
That's a good looking radio. I like the color of the grow cloth too. Very sharp. You can see the price though. I guess it's turned inward.
Philco.
Philco? Oh yeah, so it is. Oh, is this one of those? Is that a leather? Is that leather? Or is that real wood?
That's one of those photo finishes.
Yeah, it's a photo finish.
Right. That's handsome. That's a radio.
That's an Emerson right there.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
nice. Say 25 or 125. Let's see. I think so. It looks like it's 25. That seems reasonable if that were 25.
Yeah.
Nice condition.
Oh, that's the.
Looks interesting.
That's one of those with the cardboard cabinet.
Ah, what an interesting radio.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, finish. Kramer's Best. Let's say Kramer's Best Antique Improver.
Oh, wow. Guess if you drink that, everything looks good.
What was that?
If you drink it, everything looks good, right?
Yeah. Kramer's Best. I guess, wrong Kramer, but giddy up.
Yeah, I could have Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld.
It'll really screw up your radio.
Yeah.
Does anyone know of anybody who's tried that? I saw it there. It was $19.99 a bottle. I'm just curious,
You know what it looks like? It looks like that Howard's feeding wax.
Yeah. I've used Howard stuff and they generally work pretty well.
Yeah.
Looks like something that when I was in college, my buddy brought over to his probation officer.
Yeah,
Looks like honey.
Yeah, I know, really. There we go. Nice big TV here. Weighing in a good
Which model is that?
Fada.
Oh, that's the Feta.
Yeah, Fada. Wow. So it's got, it's this one. Oh, it's a radio and TV, I assume. Or maybe I'm wrong.
I think it's just the TV.
The hell are we watching? This is this thing. It's only another half hour.
Huh. It fooled me because I thought maybe it was a radio when it said Fada Radio, but it's just probably the company name and it just have that on there.
Yeah, I forget the model. That's I think that's the model that 930 TS.
You eat this
that
with chips? Is that what you most with?
Yeah, you want some chips?
What? Here, guys.
I can get more.
That's all right.
Interesting. That thing looks like it weighs in at a good, 150, 200 pounds of fun. It just looks really heavy.
Yeah.
Forklift to take it home.
It's beautiful though.
Well, except for the picture tube, though, it's all TV to all radio tubes.
Yeah, I bet. It's lose the resolution at this point.
It's a couple of Philcos and a Zenith.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good catch there, Greg. It's TOs.
There's a couple of the 7001s.
Yep, and that's the one this is the one I have right here.
They're decent radios. I have one of them, and it's just a great little radio.
Yeah, Phil, I've read Radio J. Allen's got written some good articles on those, and claim is they were the last of the good ones before they, because they were made around 71.
Well, that's also the last American-made one. The one that they made after it were all made in Taiwan.
Yeah.
So that's the last of the Chicago Zeniths right there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, they're still built like a tank, even in the early 70s.
They're darn close to a German radio the way they're built.
Yeah, I agree. When you pick one up, if you blindfolded me, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference between picking up something German and one of these babies.
And you can still find them, for $100, $120 for, one in decent condition.
Yeah, mine sort of is a solid, out of 5. Mine's probably about a 3.5 to 4 out of 5. It's not a 5, but it does need some restoration. That's the typical, stupid issues that require just some cleaning. For example, the map light that pops out doesn't work, and it's a known problem. You have to just go in there. Of course, you have to open it up. I haven't done that yet. The dial light works just fine, but the trick for that is you have to always put a battery in there. It won't run off of AC and run your dial light. You have to have a battery in there. So it's like, I don't get this. I thought, well, maybe it just doesn't work if the bulb's out. So I decided to put a battery in there anyway, and sure enough, ta-da! So nice radios though. They really are. And plus, we've got some older TOs here.
And you got some RCAs.
RCA, I was just gonna say it's an RCA.
RCA, and there's a leather TO there.
Yeah, ooh, that's nice.
Back.
Ah. So you guys see Zenith down over here. Transistor radios, yeah.
There's a 500H transistor that was sitting there,
Uh-huh.
two-tone,
Right.
gray and dark gray and light gray.
Yep.
You know that radio had a Jensen speaker in it?
Really?
That one there, yeah.
Very interesting. That is a little factoid.
It sounds so good. I actually have 3 of them. I've got one in every color that they made, and I don't know why. I'm just an idiot for doing that, but I tell you what, they're a great sounding radio.
I'll have to think about trying to get one day. Bunch of interesting stuff. What we got here? 75. I'm not even sure who makes that. I can't see the name underneath.
Oh, that's a crystal radio there.
Yeah.
Little
Oh,
cat's
okay.
whisker-
You're right. Yep.
Little cat's whisker there.
Oh, yeah. No, you are right. There's a bunch of crystals here. Fillmore crystal detector. Yep. All these little detector stuff.
Crystal sets are us. That must be this guy's table.
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Look at them all. Got a ton of them. And a microphone. Some neat stuff here. Oh. Federal.
Hmm.
Look at this beast. Actually, it's just from a industrial design. It's very attractive. Just all the little, dial grades and so forth. Beautifully done.
The Zenith
Oh,
toaster.
nice. Wow, that's nice. Oh, second here. No second here, guys. Let me just mute myself here.
That is one of the most interesting cabinets. Well, I wouldn't say the most interesting. I'm just going to say it's got an interesting feature, and that's that those slots that you see in the top are open. In other words, for ventilation purposes, air can go out of those 3 slots. I had one of those sets, nowhere near as nice condition, but I thought it was an interesting design because from that vintage, it's the only radio I know that actually has that.
Interesting. Beautiful. That's in beautiful shape. Did a nice job on the restoration.
I've got the brown plastic version of that radio. It's not a bad sounding radio either.
Mhm.
It's a very good 5-tube radio.
Yep.
And it's
Perfect for on
RCA
top of the refrigerator in the kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sure about this.
Belmont or Coronado.
Sorry?
I say it's either a Belmont or a Coronado, the model 636.
Yeah, I was going to guess Belmont, but it'd be one of those. I'll tell you, the one thing I can say is there's some beautiful restorations, just even going back to our last meeting, the prior pictures we were looking at. We've done some really beautiful work. Oh, here's a little bit more of a close-up. You might be able to figure this one out. Wow, that's nice.
Between the 2 pavilions, there's probably about, I don't know, I'm going to say 7 or 8 tables that are like this, where you find just absolutely stunning examples of nice radios. Some are done originally, some are just done. I'm going to use the word or the adjective creatively, verb. But they're all really nice, and there's something there for everybody. I mean, if someone wanted to buy a nice done radio just to have something nice in their house, you can find it. If you're looking for a cheap project, you can find it. If you're looking for a part, most of the time you can find it. And That's the beauty of Kutztown. There's just so much of it there. If you can't find it at Kutztown, you're not going to find it.
Yeah, no, I got to get out there one of these years. I've never been still.
If you could put it on your bucket list, I
It
would do
is. I got to make it a point. It'd be
I
fun.
keep
Plus,
telling myself I'm going to do the Dayton Ham Fest some year, and then one of my friends that I grew up with just went out there, and he was texting me pictures and teasing me. I wish you were here. That kind of. Don't be like me. Get out there and do it.
right.
You won't be sorry.
Yeah, no, definitely one of these. Plus, more than
I've
likely.
never seen that radio before.
Yeah, it's called a U.S. Is that Annex?
US Apex.
Apex, thank
Oh,
you.
that's an Apex.
Yeah,
I've never
seen
seen
them.
that before.
never in that good a shape, but I have seen one of those.
That's really nice.
I can't make it out in the bezel. Is that a 70 or a 90?
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
They look so much alike. I'm guessing that's a 70.
Another beautiful
Yeah,
restoration.
I think so too.
Beautiful restorations, these three.
Yeah, very nice.
Oh, this is interesting.
That is
Little
just plain
chair.
cute.
Yeah.
Bilko, oh. I like that. I love that. Just that little center hatch.
Mm-hmm.
That is just cute.
Is that missing knobs? Or
Yeah, there's a
I
couple
think
knobs.
so.
still is beautiful. I mean, look at the condition of the wood and all the, the inset. Still in really nice shape. I mean, this could
I'm
be
not sure if that's the remote control unit, because if you zoom back, that might be the speaker for it behind there. That console looking.
I do see two other, what probably are other hinged areas, just judging from, you'd stick your hand in. Interesting.
Because Philco made a unit like that had an external, a very large speaker, it looked like a console in itself, and I think that might be what's sitting behind there.
Are you thinking this?
I think that's the speaker for that
Wow.
radio.
Wow, look at the size of that baby.
Yeah,
That's
I think there's two
beautiful.
speakers in there. I believe they were linked together by a cable.
With that speaker, you could blow the smoke back to Canada if you put it outside.
That's unusual. I've never seen one of those before. Is this like,
That's very early, yeah, 1932, I think.
I was going
32.
to say late 20s, early 30s.
I don't remember seeing that. It's just I'm really blown away by this thing.
It's very rare, yeah. That's
I've never seen one.
Have you seen these before, Greg?
I've never seen one in person, but I saw them on the philcoradio.com. If you look in the gallery, I think there's
Okay, Philco forum.
I did see that while I was there. I didn't look closely to it, but that guy had a lot of very interesting things. He was the guy that also had the hi-fi thing with the detachable speakers, and I think he had some homebrew amps there. I did see that though. He had some interesting stuff.
If he can't find the knobs, I know how to make duplicates.
Oh,
those
okay.
Rosette knobs are pretty common.
Oh, hey, Rob, I haven't
Those
seen you in a while.
are those rosette knobs.
Yeah, I haven't been around, sorry. Been busy.
That's all right. Welcome back. That's a beautiful radio. Wow, I can only imagine who was asking.
They're Philco.
That is President Rich Lee's radio, by the way. That was on his table.
Ah, and I think is that Godzilla? What has he got
That's the
there?
Radio Rat.
Oh, Radio Rat. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. I see it.
I've put that on my videos before, and now he's got the Radio Rat Junior.
Yeah.
Who is
Matter
that?
of fact, that fellow standing out in the back, that's Matt. He's a New Jersey club member.
Oh, okay.
He has a DeLorean.
Oh, okay. interesting enough.
And he's actually he's probably one of the younger members of the club too. I think he's still in his 40s.
Yeah, that's downright young
A
whippersnapper.
young guy amidst all the fossils that are like crawling around, you know,
Yeah.
like me.
Oh, all right. Bunch of good stuff here. Oh, I think this is a repeat picture because I should remember some of this stuff. Mercury Super 10. That's pretty cool looking. Little thin tubes it has. Oh, an Emerson clock.
Looks like pencil tubes.
Yeah.
I believe those are Western Electric 215A tubes. Yeah, very interesting stuff.
Nice, like Emerson. Almost looks like a promotional clock or something. Not sure what this is. Your phone. Looks like an award. Like, was that someone's Oscar? Like an Oscar. Oh, look at
Mickey
this.
Mouse?
Is this a cardboard?
It's
That might
Mickey
be
Mouse. I
cardboard.
think that might be cardboard.
Yeah, it's Mickey Mouse, all right. Two crystal sets, I say.
Giant $2.
Yeah. Looks like a camera, I think.
I think that was a camera with a radio built into it. Someone told me about that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you can see the volume and tuning knobs on the top.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's a Tom Thumb radio.
Right. I couldn't remember the name.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Thank you, Howard.
Interesting.
Oh, he's running away. Maybe he's got one buried.
Interesting. Really cool.
Going to collection stash.
I'll get a little more better close up with the Mickey Mouse.
What do you think the number of that tube is in that big box?
Look at that Mickey Mouse. Look at
That.
Well, I don't know, but whoever blew the glass on that too probably has no lungs left.
Unusual too.
That's just kind of unusual. It looks like a baby trying to hold up the world. That's quite a bit of responsibility for such a young child.
Yeah, I mean, you look, yeah. Good stuff. That's a GE. I think we saw that at a
Radio clock?
different angle. Yeah, I think we saw it at a different angle. What do we have here? Macintosh
nice one.
Electric. Macintosh Electrical. The portable wall. This is unusual. Got almost a ship style. Not sure what meter that is. Seen these before. World Radio. Up here. Is that Adams Morgan Company? On air sign.
That's a Climax.
Is this one here?
Yeah, that's a Climax. They're very rare. I actually just did one for the man that's out there, Jay Volke, who had the Spartan, the mirror dial, a mirror cabinet.
Yeah.
I just worked on one of those for him. I restored one for him. A Climax like that.
Interesting. I've never seen one. Very interesting style. $450. Quite impressive.
It almost looks like the castle from my Python and the Holy Grail.
Yeah. Emerson? Yes, I thought. Oh, this is an Emerson. I think I want to say it's an Emerson 38. Yes. In fact, I have this radio.
Wow.
It needs to be restored. It was given to me by a friend of mine. Her father bought it brand new. So when she gave it to me, he was in his mid-90s. And it's been worked on. And I got the schematics off Nostalgia Air. And I have to pick up where I left off, but I was having a devil of time to figure out what they did. The radio powers up, but I got nothing on the output side. So you have to just work on that at some point when I have time. But it needs to be refinished, but it's in good shape. Just needs a refinishing. And also needs new grill cloth. Mine is a darker finish. This is light, but I'm looking and saying, that looks familiar. And sure enough, I just haven't had the top on in a long time. It's sitting in a box if I can see it as I look up on a shelf to try and tackle this thing at some point. It's actually good looking radios. A little factoid: when I first created our Facebook page for our club, I didn't have anything to use initially for the cover photo, so I used the dial face of I took a close up of that, and that was our cover photo on our Facebook page for the first year or so. And then I took a good photo of an airline radio, changed it to that, and now it's got our club logo instead. But I needed something, and I thought an Emerson 38 is more than valid. I haven't seen one of those. This is the first Emerson 38 I've seen in quite a while.
I have an Emerson downstairs that has that same kind of dial, but it's in a Bakelite cabinet.
Ah, interesting. It's a nice looking radio. So I see it in the lighter finish. It's actually rather elegant.
Yeah.
Now I really have to get my act together and actually see what I can do with it. It needs a fair amount, but it's all there, in solid condition. But it needs to be brought up a few levels.
I actually have the advertising clock that's over off the side of the table.
Oh, this one here, the RCA?
I have that in my shop.
That's pretty cool. Does it light up?
It does now. Well, actually, nothing worked on it when I got it. I bought it in an auction for $70, and I just had to change the starter and the light, and the clock didn't work at all. And I didn't know anything about the clock, but I found a guy that was selling the same movement that this clock had on eBay for $94. So I've got probably about $180 into this clock, but it works and it lights up.
Nice.
And I think the last time I saw one of them, it wasn't this guy. It was somebody else in Kutztown, but he doesn't have it anymore. He was asking $275 for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's a cool picture.
Yeah, I was curious. Auto and electric shop.
How many times have you watched people probably go in and out of that building with batteries to recharge for their radios?
I bet. You see electric supplies, auto supplies.
Looks like it says Atwater, Kent on the side of the truck.
You are correct.
Yes.
It certainly does. That's pretty cool. That's a cool
That's
photo.
neat. Well, they're only about 45-minute drive to Philadelphia. So that picture might be local. That Atwater Kent came out of Philadelphia. So
interesting. Yeah. Wow, that's really cool. That's a really neat photo. That here.
Didn't Philco buy
Yes.
their plant after they closed up? Yeah.
Oh, it's a Zenith.
Yep. That is Zenith Clock Radio.
Yeah. Just figured I had to go check it out since I was seeing some interesting older tubes.
When did clock radios come about? Was it after, it must have been after the war in the early 50s,
Well,
right?
Actually, you know what? It goes
Didn't
back
she
to even the
invent first
30s.
one?
Really?
I think there was, yeah, it's funny. The only reason I sort of know a little bit about this, I was talking to Adam Vaughn, and we were just exchanging emails, and we were talking about clocks and clock radios and things like that. I was quite surprised to see that it goes back. I think Philco had was one of the pioneers, but it goes back pre-war. But in terms
Yeah.
of
Oh,
Go ahead.
I have a Crosley Playtime that has kind of like a cathedral radio in it and a clock on top, but they're not connected like a
okay,
regular clock radio. But that was the 20s.
I don't know, John, if you remember, we had a clock radio contest.
yeah,
I brought in the Spartan Select Time radio. Now that radio there is really an alarm clock, except you can only set it in 15-minute intervals. But that's 1937.
I remember that was a really cool radio you brought in, that clock radio. I remember that now. That was really cool.
So yeah, they do go back, but as far as goes, the conventional clock radios, yeah, post-war,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, for sure. I've got I have one clock radio in my collection, and it's funny. It's a Telefunken. They call it or radio, which is clock radio in German. But it was based on the Jubilata chassis, so it's it's not a very big radio. It's but it's still typical, build like a tank. But the charming thing about it is the clock is a wind-up clock. It's not electric. So you it's like a 2 or 3 day clock.
Like an alarm clock.
Yeah. However, it does control that switch gear to control the radio and turn it on and off and so forth. So it's there. The thing you just have to remember to wind it. But it does make that charming plastic. That classic, I should say, charming classic ticking sound. That it's a lot of fun. It's a neat radio. Not all the modes work on it, but it's in pretty good condition. But it's unusual because almost everybody as far as being from Ashland, almost every manufacturer used some form of a Telecron timepiece, and they're all over. They were all over the place. But leave it to the Germans that throw in a little bit of the old retro mechanical clock. This one's radio's from like the mid 50s, like 55.
Years ago, when I worked in the radio TV shop, and when I was going to school, we're talking back in the 60s now. And I worked on so many clock radios. I don't care if I never see another clock radio again. I mean, they used to pile those things up. I used to work on probably 10 a day. Oh my God, it was unbelievable.
You almost have PTSD from it.
Yeah, and a lot of times, they had printed circuit boards in them, and the problem was that the radio would have probably gotten dropped or knocked off the table by the bed.
Yeah.
And invariably, what would happen is the PC board would get cracks. And oh boy, were those things hard to fix. I remember. Never forgot that.
That's funny. Oh, here's a close-up of the climax.
Yeah.
That was a little out of my price range. I did ask about it.
Is this British?
No, it's not British, but they made several different cabinet. Actually, the one I did had a square dial. It didn't have the I-tube, but the cabinet was the same.
Wow, I love the
What was he
design.
asking for that?
Well, his asking was 2,400.
Whoa.
That's
And
the, that's the heart
Maybe
clutching.
he would have gone down on it, but
Yeah,
you
but
know, they do get quite a bit. What you don't see on this is on the other side of it where that little one-stage amp is, there's 3 more of those wooden louvers that go down the side. It's a very deco design and they're not very common at
It is
all.
beautiful. It is really beautiful. And it's a good sized radio, just looking from the picture.
Yeah. And the one I worked on was missing the top fin. I had to recreate one of the fins. that was
well, I'll tell you, if he was asking that kind of money, I wouldn't have put those 2 items on top of it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I know. That's a fair point. I'd be a little reluctant to do that.
Yeah.
nice carbon mic though.
Yeah, I know. Look at this stuff. I mean, he has some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, he has some very high-end and very rare things.
I'd love to see this dial face lit up. It must be attractive. Neat.
Looks like it's a 2-band radio too.
Yeah.
Oh, another neat stuff.
I gotta
there.
remember this may be a duplicate. This Addison, yes, remember that's really quite sharp. The white and the burgundy.
That a
Oh, really?
Catlin radio?
I don't think so.
I think that's Plascon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was just painted.
Nice.
It's a Crosley widget.
Oh yeah, yeah. This I'm pretty sure this is a duplicate photo, but
Yeah.
still some neat stuff here. A gramophone. Yeah, I remember this photo.
Looks like something out of Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, huh? This is neat. Another sort of like almost promotional glass or lucite radio.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. Christina. Seen these. Whoop. Go.
I've seen it.
What is it? Oh yeah. That's a rather attractive little radio.
Yeah.
What's that, a tombstone behind it? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Star Wars. Even
What's that, R2? Is that R2D2 there?
it's that more recent Star Wars
Oh.
one where there was sort of a pseudo, like, yeah, equivalent.
Mhm.
A lot of vintage speakers. But these is looks to be quite nice. Ah, that's nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that is beautiful.
Right at
Very,
Art
very
Deco.
nice.
So makes you think of Maxfield Parrish.
Mhm. Nice artwork there.
Oh, this is kind of cool. FM, SGE, AM, FM calendar radio. It's actually kind of cool. I like it.
Huh.
It's different.
I used to have one of those radios that the numbers, the time was on a rotating thing and the number would flip. And sometimes in the night, you would wake up and you would catch it during the time it was flipping. Sometimes it would scare the hell out of you.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know where that radio went. I think it was a Panasonic.
I had a Panasonic in the late 70s. I regret getting rid of it. It's now this a bit charming, the way they just sort of flip quietly.
Yep.
It's a Satchel
Satchel
Carlson.
Carlson. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Frog eyes.
Sorry?
They call that the frog eyes because of how the
Ah,
Yeah, right.
that makes sense.
It's the iron again.
There's that iron. Does it still say fast? Hard to say. That's actually not quite as good a image this angle. That's interesting. Say Atwater, Kent, radio,
Auto electric.
Auburn,
store.
New York. Oh, so this is from, it's like must be a repair shop or something. Electrical auto store, electrical Atwater, Kent. So they sold the gamut.
Does that say Montgomery to the left of Auto Select?
I'm trying to
Yeah,
figure that out. Yeah,
yeah,
something
Montgomery.
Montgomery store? No, like Montgomery Ward, or is it just have to be a coincidence?
Huh.
Neat sign.
All those companies, all gone, you know,
Yeah, it is a bit sad.
Montgomery Ward, Firestone, Hardware, there.
I do have my trusty Montgomery Ward airline radio from, this is, it's a solid state from 74, but my dad had the exact same radio. And I don't know what happened to it. And so I said, I saw one on eBay. It was in almost perfect shape and got it for reasonable money. So I said, it's mine. And it's a daily driver. Love the little radio. It's awesome. Nicely built too. Although it is made in Taiwan, but the quality is still good. Oh, I think we had a picture of this earlier. Yeah, the scene is beautiful. That grill, like, no grill. Very nice.
What make is that?
The Zenith.
Is it a Zenith?
Oh yeah.
Zenith Tombstone, yeah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Pretty good shape. Pretty good shape.
Cut the wooden knobs too.
Yeah, all of them. They look like they match.
Yeah. Well, what you can do is you can go to like Hobbytown or Michael's, okay, and you can buy this two-pot silicone rubber.
Okay.
And what you can do is there's a new one now that is it's red colored. So when you mix it together, it winds up becoming very, very red. But if you take a knob, for instance, that you want to duplicate, you can put the knob, let's say you put the knob face up in a little box or a cardboard container or even anything, okay, small enough. And you mix this two-part epoxy, not epoxy, but silicone rubber together, and you just pour it in over it and you cover it. And it cures in about an hour, but it gets fully cured in maybe 20 hours. And the stuff will stretch incredibly. I mean, you can pop the original knob right out of there. And then what you now do is you just mix up some epoxy or fiberglass and just pour it into the mold.
Ah, you make yourself a mold.
And it makes, you just pop, when the epoxy cures, you just pop that out and, drill a hole in the middle and put a hole and tap it for a set screw and you got a knob.
That's a pretty interesting idea.
Yeah, you can do it for many other things too. I've made lots and lots of pots, and I've used various types of epoxy and what have you, but the best stuff I found was just plain old automotive fiberglass.
Yeah.
That seems to cure the hardest. And it's also very machinable when you're done. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Good to know. Experience.
You have, the best thing to do is to get it and experiment because, the more you do it, the better you are. And that kind of stuff like that. But I've made, boy, if you have just one of the knobs, boy, I can make you a whole set, and then it's easy. After a while, you get very good at it.
Oh, that's good to know. That's good info. It's interesting. National Oil. this Spark
Now,
Gap?
if your cat catches a small rat or a mouse, you put it on that. That's a dynamo motor, and you just can electrocute the mouse until it actually passes away. You know.
There you go.
The National Coil Company.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's like,
When I was working,
I have no idea what that is. I'm just speculating.
it's looks like some kind of who knows what.
It's certainly a Rube Goldberg-ish kind of.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Spark Gap, but I'm not, but
No, I don't think it is.
Maybe
I
it
think
is.
maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's got a motor. I think it's a rotary spark gap.
Wow.
that would be my, that's the money I'd put on.
Boy, I bet that thing had quite a bandwidth.
No, it's-
One time at the Steam and Wireless Museum down in East Greenwich, they fired up the Spark Gap transmitter there. And God, nobody could hear anything for miles around.
I bet.
Some poor slob is drinking a beer and listening to the ball game on his radio, and then all of a sudden you just hear
Whoa,
like a lot of
yeah.
static. Poor
And
guy.
boy, I gotta tell you something, those things made a lot of noise. It sounded like firecrackers going off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't imagine what it must have sounded like when Marconi sent that transatlantic spark gap in code across the Atlantic in
Yeah.
1914. That must have been just like RF hell.
Like,
Yeah, it must have sounded like a lightning strike.
like sticks of dynamite going off,
Yeah.
kapow, 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 pow, 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 pow. Must
Well,
have been
you know,
really loud.
Our dearly departed Bill Holly had brought a Spark Gap into was like 2015 or 16, and into our big show that would have been like Radio 46 or 7 or something at that point. But he did a couple of demos, and that was pretty impressive, not only to see visually, but he made quite a little racket there. It was cool.
Well, has anybody ever thought about the fact that if Tesla actually succeeded with sending electricity through the air to all the homes and every location, you realize that if he had succeeded that, there would be no radio.
Yeah.
I mean, there'd be so much static in the air.
You couldn't pick up anything. Yeah.
And then you wouldn't have to worry about forest fires because there'd be no smoke because all the sparks would have cleaned up the air.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, an air purifier, they use spark to do that, don't they? It kind of like burns up the impurities in the air.
Oh, maybe.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
They had one of these at the auction a couple years ago. And it was
$2,000.
unrestored, and it went for not quite that number. It
Really?
went for, I think, $1,800
Unrestored.
unrestored.
This looks to be in pretty reasonable shape.
That
Pretty nice.
one looks like it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
$2,000, and if gauging that, it's actually a bargain by comparison. That's beautiful.
Looks like somebody made the cabinet though out of a cheese box or something.
It's like they cut up a beer keg and they made 3
Yeah,
radios
yeah.
out of the one keg.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
The old wooden wine case or a beer keg.
Years
Oh, this
ago
is
when
my-
I
this
was
is my
out
neighbor
riding.
with all his nice painted radios.
Mhm.
Overtime.
I mean, the paint on my 2015 Toyota ain't this nice. I mean, look at this.
He does nice work.
It's like stunning.
Look, nice and gleaming. A nice Emerson. Oh, I've seen one of these. I'm trying to think what airline, right?
Well, it's a 4-tube Arvin, and it's just,
Oh, Arvin.
Arvin,
Right.
Yeah, it's good to get all the local stations, but man, oh man, look at it! Look at the paint on that thing. Look at the Strat.
That's
And
good.
there's
Oh,
some
yeah, but
Stradivarius
this is
there.
a repeat.
Is that a wood cabinet?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Boy. Somebody did a
Those are
nice
all-
job on that.
This looks
Those
like
are
a
all
roll-
Tom Hayes's radios from down in
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa.
Right. Yeah, this
Yeah,
looks like it
on
just came
that, on
out
that price tag, he had $1,100.
for this, yeah.
Whoa.
Oof. It looks like it rolled out of the factory.
Is anybody actually paying this kind of money for these radios?
There are people that buy them from him.
Wow.
Unusual Emerson. Never seen one of these. Actually, let's see what
Gee, I
that
wish
six. This says 650. Emerson 212. I think it says something.
Well, that's a bargain.
Yeah.
Tom told me that he sold about 10 sets in the last Kutztown.
Oh, that's pretty
Really?
good.
Wow. Boy, you sure don't get those kind of prices on eBay.
I try to get to talk to him, and he's actually a really nice guy, and he has some good stories.
Uh-huh.
I enjoy listening to his stories.
Wow.
His wife, Sheila, the last time I was at Kutztown, his wife, Sheila, said that, Tom has a cup of coffee and breakfast, and then he goes into his workshop and she doesn't see him until it's dinner time. Spends all day.
This is this Coronado with the original box, the Chatterbox radio.
That's it, huh?
Oh, Pilot. Nice radio.
Pilot.
Oh. This is unusual. I'm not sure what this is. I have a clue.
I think it's a Majestic.
The clock
Yeah,
radio,
yeah.
presumably. Speaking of clock radios. Oh, right. Howard, I think there was a picture of this because you have a similar radio.
I have that model. That's an Emerson.
Yeah.
Well, that must have been hard to tune.
That's a little TRF. I mean, it's
Oh, okay.
It's
So
neat.
it's not very
I like
sharp. Good old breadboard.
I'm beginning to wonder if maybe we are actually cycling. No, we should have ended. I was thinking whether we were cycling back, but maybe it's just some overlap. Oh, look at that. Like, Catalan. Beautiful.
I think that breadboard ended up in the auction, and if it's the same one I'm thinking of, it went for $700.
Mhm.
Wow.
I have some of those tuners that they're showing you there.
That's
I had a couple of those Atwater Kent tuners, and years ago I sold one for pretty good money up at the old Deerfield there. When it was in Rochester, I think I sold it for $250, and I was pretty happy to get it. But I got a few of them left, and I don't know, kind of not parting with them. They
The
become
prices of that stuff has come down probably about 30-40% of
yeah,
what
I
they
think it
used to
has
be. So
too.
I would probably, my advice would be to hold on to them for
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
at least until the economy turns around, hopefully.
right.
Boy, I'll tell you, I can't sell anything on eBay right now. I even tried giving things away, and
Well,
Really?
you don't want to sell anything of value on eBay right now.
no,
because if you
I've been
sell-
trying to get rid of some
Here's
stuff.
the thing, if you sell anything over $600, you're gonna have to add that onto your report on your income tax.
Really?
Yeah. No, really, we just went, my wife and I just went through a thing, and this was it 2022, it was $1,600, and we exceeded that number.
But don't they have to send you a 1099? I mean,
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do.
1099
but see,
K.
I sold, a few thousand on eBay last year, and I never got a 1099 from eBay.
What state are you in?
Rhode Island.
That could have something to do with it.
I don't know.
That might enter into it. It just depends on where you live.
Uh-huh. I know eBay charges everybody Rhode Island State.
Oh, that was the one that was in the auction right there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
You see it has the auction tag on it.
yeah. I see that. I saw that. Yeah.
In nice shape.
I mean,
Yeah,
10 years ago, that probably would have went for about $1,200-1,300. That only sold for $700.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. They're nice to look at. They attract a lot of attention, I'll say that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
If you get some nice globe tubes in there, that really makes that breadboard pop.
Sure.
Bruton. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Bruton. I've never seen this or heard of them for that matter. Another
That's
auction.
adorable. That's really cute. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's unusual. I've never seen one before. These are all auction stuff, I guess, because I see an auction tag.
I'm recognizing some of these.
I have a little tombstone radio with a little airplane dial, and I have no idea who made it. And
Yes, it's Zenith, is it not? Or
Yeah, it's a console tone. 5-tuber.
nice. Old.
neat stuff there, August.
Oh, go back. Yeah, that was an interesting radio. That's very similar to the one right there. That one. Go down. Keep going down.
Yep. There you go. The Bruton. Yep.
Right there. Yeah. That's very similar to the one I have.
Ah,
But I think the knobs are below the dial.
Huh.
Very interesting.
yeah. Oh, some more stuff.
An ICO 2 tester there.
Yeah,
Oh, it is an ICO.
Yeah.
there is.
It's not it's just a emission tester. It doesn't do anything with.
I was surprised to see a little pilot TV and it still had a picture tube in it.
Mhm.
It seems like I've been finding them lately and they just had this little hole in there.
Yeah.
There's a little garage port.
Yeah. Little garage, yeah.
Probably a little 4-tuber.
There's an Atwater Kent shoebox, but they don't look like the ones I have.
Yeah, this one is. Yeah, I know.
I think
Yours
that
are,
was
yours
a,
are a little nicer there, Rob.
Yeah.
That was a 37, I think, which was kind of like the really low end of Atwater Kent radios.
I can see where they were.
Well, they were
auctioned off.
heavy. Oh, there's an NCX5 there.
What do we got there? What does it say?
The Zenith.
Is it Zenith? Okay, thanks.
So I haven't been around for a while because I've been remodeling the cellar.
Make room for more vintage electronics.
Well, what I've been doing is I built another operating area for my my ham radio stuff, and then I decided to make a laundry room that's not part of the radio equipment anymore, and which makes somebody very happy. And then I'm totally redoing my workshop, so everything is in complete turmoil.
Oh, okay.
But I'm getting there.
That's okay. Hey, you made it finally.
Yeah.
Look at all these knobs. I was looking to say there's 6 knobs on this thing. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of knobs for that radio.
What are you doing with these knobs? Are they just fake knobs? They just turn, but they don't do anything.
Bruce had one of those. I don't remember exactly.
Panasonic. Yeah, we're getting to the end. It's the burning of the consoles.
They couldn't get all those consoles burnt.
Really?
I mean, look how many they had.
Yeah, that's quite a row,
It was
waiting line.
unbelievable. The
Did
funny
they
thing is,
actually
I've
burn
actually
them?
seen people like walk around them and then like all of a sudden they just grab them and then drag them back to their car. Kind of
That's like,
funny.
yeah, that burner's remorse.
Burner's remorse.
No, somebody probably saw it. Hey, I have the chassis that goes in that cabinet.
Yeah. Well, some of
Hey,
these,
you never know. I mean, I would much rather see them get refinished and restored or,
Yeah.
preserved at least, but
Yeah.
sometimes you do what you got to do.
I mean, I don't know what happened here, but this one right in front of us is pretty rough,
Some of them just get way beyond, there's nothing, I mean,
Yeah.
it just isn't worth putting the effort into them.
There used to be an old cigarette commercial on TV where a guy was there talking to his dog. He says to the dog, "Hey, Fido, how do most cigarettes taste? Rough." Well, that's what those cabinets were. They were
Yep.
rough.
Yeah.
And it says when the right.
This is kind of an interesting picture where this young lady is standing in front of the fire.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was on purpose or John had her posed there, or I don't know what was going on with that.
And then there's the dog down in front of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, there's guys with, sitting in their seats watching the burning of the cabinets.
Well, they don't care. They're half numb by now anyway because we're
Yeah.
drinking beer.
What do? They dig a big pit there and,
They dig a huge pit and just stack them up and have at it.
uh-huh,
And look at this. It's sad to see this.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so that's a Zenith 7S 368 and a Philco. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, wow, Howard. I mean, you always impress me. That was you're gonna blow me away. Wow, I'd say there must have been some good chemicals on that cabinet there, really lit up nicely.
I had a whole bunch of, maybe 4 or 5 consoles that were all restored, and I finally, I've got two or three of them, but I gave some of them away to my wife's nieces, and one of them really loves it because she can tune in the world. She's into languages, so she really likes.
Oh, right.
Those radios have that sound. It just.
Oh, sure.
John, can you zoom in any further on that nameplate? I'm trying to figure
I
out.
was looking as well. I'm at full, unfortunately, Howard.
Oh.
I think this is an A, and this is a Y.
Paraquat? No. I can't read it.
Yeah, unfortunately, on my Mac, it's on. Sorry, guys. Sure, what is this a? What is this? Not sure what this is either.
That looks similar to a Jackson, like that opening, but I don't know for sure.
It almost reads like Avon, but I'm sure that's wrong. I'm just looking at this. Looks like an A. That looks like a V O, and almost like it looks like an N. Is such thing as an Avon radio? That's nice. This is.
True now.
Oh, thank you. I was just going to say, when I said, I think that dial face looks like it. Thank you, Greg. That's an RCA, isn't it?
We're down in the low rent district now.
Yeah, I know.
That white thing up on top of the radio phonograph, that's a silver tone.
Uh-huh.
That's actually a very good 6-tube radio.
Oh, this one right here.
No, it's the white one that was on the other side.
Oh, this one here?
That one with the tag, the yellow tag hanging off it, that one there.
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
Charlie?
It's Hopalong Cassidy and what the heck
Charlie,
is that guy's name? Charlie McCarthy.
McCarthy, thank you. Pretty nice.
They look cool, but they are not DX machines.
No.
That's a
There's
nice.
a 90
brown.
and a 600 series leather there.
Yep,
Seems
Yeah.
leather.
those are nice radios.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
I've seen one of these before. Wow, that's beautiful.
we're back in the high rent district here.
Yeah. Look at this. It's Venus.
I love that they actually polished that bezel. I think that
Yeah.
just looks stunning.
Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? That's a gorgeous radio. What do you have
Water,
here? I was gonna say that one, Ken, thank you.
water
Yep.
kit, yeah.
Oh, back in that table, because that's their,
The
Yeah,
RCA.
huge vacuum tube.
yeah. Oh, yeah, it's where the climax, we're just taking a step back from the other good stuff guy has. Yep. Get Mickey Mouse. Recognize a lot of these things we saw earlier. Yeah. Same equipment.
Well, I have to leave you guys. I'm gonna say goodbye.
Yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up shortly anyway there, Rob. Hey, glad you're able to join us.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate getting all the emails from you, John. We'll talk to
Anytime.
you all. We'll see you all soon.
All right, Rob. Enjoy your
Bye.
weekend. Take care. Speaker,
Well, close it up.
closing up. I think this is
Somebody
good.
took their space and made a tiki bar out of it.
Yeah, look, huh?
Little colored lights. And then that's just a shot in a beer bar out there,
Oh, yeah.
looking at the fire and drinking the beer.
And that's the auction.
And there's the auction with Darren. Darren's the guy that Pete passed away,
Golden Throat.
and Darren took over. There's a bullhorn there. That's a nice radio. The guys have those standalone RCA 45 players. Always look for them. You can hook the 45 player into that. The ones that don't have the built-in amp.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. Oh, I guess that's. We got 4 seconds left.
Well, I've got about 5 minutes, 6 minutes of it on my YouTube page. So if you want to
Oh, yeah.
see some of the auction action, you just go to my YouTube page and look for the Kutztown video.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it looks like this was it. Actually, it looks like we just finished just a little bit, well, a little late, but earlier than last time.
And then if you follow the video after that, you can see some of the things that followed me home.
Ah, but
I wasn't looking to buy anything except for a knob, a tuning knob for a plastic jewel radio that my friend was looking for. I found that, and then all of a sudden, like the end of the day, Friday and Saturday, all these things were like somehow finding my table, finding my spot. So
well, you're gonna have to give
came
us.
home with I came home with 3 radios. I came home with that.
Well, you'll have to give us a little show next meeting.
Oh no, just watch the video.
Yeah, that was,
Oh, right. We could do
I
that
watched
too.
the video. The one thing is actually really cool, and I had to do some interesting bartering between my wife and I to get it. So you'll see it. I
Cool.
give it away. Yes.
Okay.
I actually had to hand over a few dead presidents and fix the guy's radio for it. And the radio's already been fixed, so I just gonna sit on it now till September.
A little bartering always works.
have you got
Yeah,
that
it worked.
chair side sitting next to your easy chair?
Yes,
Yeah. That was
you
nice.
already
find.
watched it.
Yeah, I did.
I gotta make sure I do.
I've always wanted a chair side.
Yeah.
That just was
That
stunning.
was a nice-
It was
nice
literally
ball.
my neighbor across the way that did it, and and he initially wanted a tall number, and then my wife actually came in and did the negotiating. It was interesting. I just had like, okay. He came to a number, and I said, well, look, because he showed me this little portable Theta radio that was a battery AC radio. And I never saw one before. So I opened it up, I looked, and I see it was 5 miniature tubes, and it had an RF section. I was like, wow, this is probably pretty good radio. So I said, this is going to be a good radio. And, he's like, well, it don't work. And, so I said, all right, I'll give you a few dead presidents. I'll fix your Theta for the chair side. He said, okay. That's how it all came to fruition. So
It's a beautiful story. Awesome.
So sometimes these things happen. I would much rather barter and do that kind of stuff than hand over money or have somebody hand me a lot of money. It just, I think
Sure.
it takes away from it because as collectors, that's, you just want to kind of like have some neat stuff for your collection,
Right.
And that's why I was late to the party tonight, because I was on my cell phone talking to a guy probably about 5 minutes away. Good night, sweetie. I love you too. Wife's going to bed. He wants me to see if I can figure out, he's going to send me a schematic and some wiring. I got to figure out an amplifier that somebody took apart a million years ago, which wires go what. I thought I might help him out with that. So, but that's my nature. That's part of my problem. I have a tendency to take on too much stuff.
Yeah.
And then my own stuff that I want to do for me ends up sitting. It's
Right.
like I doing
Yeah.
everybody else's stuff because I could sit here and pull like 40 radios out and turn any of them on right now and listen to it. But somebody else, they don't have an old tube radio or old transistor radio from the 60s or
Right.
so, all right, we'll sort this for you.
Yep. That's pretty cool. Well, guys, we're just hitting 9 o'clock here. Thanks for everybody for attending. Appreciate it. And I think we're done with Kutztown. We can talk a little bit about Spring Brookline at the next meeting, and we lost to see. I'm sure we'll try and get some more topics going in the summer and so forth. But maybe I can try Adrian's suggestions, see if I can get someone to talk about fixing organs or these roller pianos or something. But any rate, all right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great weekend. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Stay safe out there. Don't inhale the air that we got in New Jersey.
Yeah. Oof, gosh.
Have a great evening, guys.
Yeah, it's great seeing everybody. Take care of yourselves.
Good night.